Yeah, there we go.
Can you hear me?
You're live.
Hi.
All right, welcome to the show, Natalie Stones. Natalie, this is the second time you've been on the Rebel TA podcast. It's great to have you back.
Yeah, full circle. It's what, a year ago?
Yes, a lot of changes since you were last on the show. So you are the head of community and experiences at Findom. You're also the co-founder of Talent Collective. So what's been going on? What are you working on?
Oh gosh. As of late, I recently joined Findom, and with the mission to really grow the TA community past just what I grew with Talent Collective. For those that aren't familiar, Talent Collective is a global community for women in recruiting. And Findom was a long time early partner of ours. And so it's just a natural fit, really being an advocate for a platform that really enables talent leaders and recruiters to have the efficiency, the data they need, visibility into top talent. So I don't know which one is my day job and my night job, but they keep me very busy. Talent Collective has grown a lot in so many amazing ways. And so it's nice to be able to do both and combine both and really support the broader talent ecosystem.
It's really exciting to see you do your thing and to see Findom embrace who you are as an individual, as a recruiting practitioner, as a marketer, as a community builder. A lot of the times companies want a clear line or clear separation of this is going to be your day job. But I think there are a few unique individuals in this space who their influence spans beyond the job description, and you are one of those people. How do you feel about the emerging roles that are happening in software companies where they bring in people like you to be truly unique and sprinkle that magic?
Yeah. Well, the first thing that I find amazing and brilliant of HR tech companies is really tapping into practitioners that either have already made that switch, or want to make that switch, or because of the changing roles of recruiters with the abundance of AI, like they're trying to find how to transfer those skill sets. So using Findom is a great example. We've had a couple of Talent Collective community members that were prior heads of talent that now are running customer success because they've been in that practitioner seat. They know the pain points, they know how a tool is going to help, gain efficiency. So I think it's really innovative when companies want to tap into the practitioner to really be open to feedback and hear, the pros and cons. They're thinking product and technology, but they don't know the full depth of the inner workings of being in the seat. And so the value that I have found in this relationship joining Findom is I became TA practitioner, TA leader, to then community builder, trying to build a broader ecosystem, which led me to become a very active event planner. And so then here I am now planning events and experiences for Findom. Oh, hello. Spam caller.
Damn. That's the beauty of the work that you do, because you are like an expert party planner. I've been to Talent Collective events. They are just next level. It's like you bring the internet sensibilities to life, and it's truly special. When I think about the experience and looking out on the floor, one of the trends I've seen when I catch up with old friends and new friends is the reality that a lot of recruiters have been displaced and they're taking on new roles like yourself, and it's like, hey, what are you up to? Where are you working these days? And it's community marketing and customer success for vendors. And I love seeing that because it's all relationship focused. Yes, we're talking about B2B SaaS, but the HR tech purchase is heavily emotional, particularly in early stage companies. Large enterprise deals, they take 4 or 6 months. But it's the smaller companies that come out to an event like this and can really develop strong partnerships just by putting themselves in the rooms. How are you thinking about partnerships and growing a community at Findom in your new role?
So there's a couple of different ways. Obviously, we have integration partnerships, we have co-innovation partnerships, we have co-hosting event partnerships. One of the beauties of Talent Collective is we are co-hosting events, Findem and CoderPad, or Findem and fill in the blank. Any other tech partner that is really complementary to what we provide. It's a great avenue to be able to, promote two different amazing products and tap into the larger community ecosystem. So when I think of partnerships in a tech company, it goes beyond, okay, how are these two technologies going to speak to each other? How are we going to co-sell or resell? But how are we actually building community between this company's network of customers and this company's network of customers and all the prospects in between? And so that's kind of my focus, is how to build that community of practitioners that really can benefit from the technology, whether they buy it or not, just the thought leadership that we're bringing to the industry.
Totally. One of the things I think Findem probably saw in you, and it's something I respect, is that you are a recruiting practitioner. You've been in the trenches, you've worked with early stage startups, you've built pipelines through sourcing. What do you like about the product? How do you see it separating from the pack when we look at the ecosystem for sourcing tools?
So this is a tricky question for me to answer because, as co-founder of Talent Collective, we have an abundance of amazing other technology partners that provide amazing platforms and experiences and tools. But what I always tell people is not every tool is the right fit for every single recruiter or customer based on their stage, their size, their budget, their preferred UI experience. But what really stood out to me about Findem is when you hear like all-in-one platforms, right? You think of ATS, CRM with lots of different bolt-on things. Findem, uniquely, similar in that type of lane. It's not an all-in-one system, but you have your AI sourcing copilot, you have Agentic that's coming out, you have CRM capabilities, we have the 3D data component that helps you really emerge that talent that's already in your ATS that tends to lie dead. So you can tap into a lot of different warm channels of talent that's already in there, or that are connected to your employees' LinkedIn accounts, runner-up candidates, etc. But another cool thing that we have is the entire experience for executive search. That's quite unique for most tools to be able to uncover that talent that a lot of research associates are tasked with doing that exec search for. So
I love this idea of 3D data, even down to the marketing and calling it 3D, because it's giving context to where the company was in their growth or product stage during the time that your candidate worked there. So for the first time, we're accelerating that research piece to make an inference that, hey, if Natalie worked at this company during this stage, here's the information we have about what that company was doing at that time, we can infer that Natalie is an X% match to a specific role based on what it actually did, and then we substantiate that through your resume, through your portfolio, through the interview assessment process, to really see if you're going to be a great fit for the role. That's a lot of science. It's a lot of research. I love the use case for LLMs here. One of the things we need to do is index on motivation. Do you want to do that work again? So how do you think about indexing on motivation in the candidate journey? So if you were to interview for a role and a company or recruiter reaches out to you, because you've done similar work, that company's going to hire you again to replicate that. How do you think a recruiter can talk to a candidate to get a better understanding of their motivations versus just the inferences made through science?
Yeah. Well, I think the cool piece is that because of the natural language and the copilot that's in there, recruiters are equipped very quickly with an abundance of candidates that could meet these other, like, A/B alternative opportunities. And so I think if I was a candidate, and let's just use mine as an example, they would find me in the system, maybe I was a runner-up candidate for a head of talent, I didn't get the job, but then they decided to open up a head of community role. If they used Copilot to put in, we want somebody who has been a practitioner before, they've led this size teams, scale companies this size, but we want them to also have like brand events and recruitment marketing. My profile would pop up because I'm a community organizer, I have been a prior practitioner, and so if my recruiter called me and said, hey, we found that you could be a great opportunity for this role, albeit, your background is X, what do you think about that? I'd be pumped. Like, the fact that they're proactively coming to me to be considered, I think really changes that journey, that candidate experience, and the brand affinity for that candidate. Like, my team's actually going an extra mile. They're not just considering me for that one thing, and if I don't get it, then my relationship with them is dead.
I love this idea of keeping candidate data fresh, particularly in the applicant tracking system, so that you can re-engage candidates, identify who was a silver medalist a year ago, and then what are the skills they've developed since you last spoke with them. I think candidate experience and recruiter experience are top of mind, particularly at this conference. How do you think about recruiter enablement and candidate enablement?
I think the best piece is that the data is refreshed. So it saves recruiters time from, okay, maybe they can rediscover a candidate in their ATS, on their own. But they're gonna have to go and check LinkedIn, they're gonna have to ask for an updated resume, they may need to jump on another, follow-up call to get updates. With the refreshing capability within Find they already will know immediately, live, oh, actually, they now are super qualified for that role, or no, their skill set hasn't advanced, so they're not still fit. But it cuts down on that amount of administrative and conversation time. So I think that's one of the biggest benefits of the system, and it also saves candidates time from having to go through that call and update what have they been up to. It just makes the process faster, smoother.
I love it. When I think about recruiting, recruiters, hiring managers, we have a few variables to consider. It's time, quality, cost, and quantity of candidates. I think with the dawn of AI and tools like Findem, we're going to have funnel metrics flipped on their head. So it's no longer going to be 20 hiring manager interviews with a specific job search. It might be 3 to 5 because you're getting better signal as a recruiter at the top of the funnel. Yep. How are you thinking about that, and how does Findem use it?
Yeah. What I can say with my practitioner hat on, some of the coolest things that we see in the dashboard is the quality of, let's just even say, the top 10 matches that come up on the dashboard for the recruiters to reach out to. So that quality, number one, is amazing for heads of talent to be able to measure. Number two is the speed at which recruiters are doing outreach and getting candidates top of funnel into their recruiting pipeline when a job opens. Like, the outreach can be instantaneous, right? They upload the job description and then do their natural language search in there, or job description is going to prompt backgrounds anyways, but I'm equipped now to immediately reach out to people. I have the CRM capability in there, so I even more so can reach out immediately through an outreach campaign. But then on top of that, we see that the response rate of those candidates are so much faster because, oh yeah, I wrote mine that I applied for that job, or I was a runner-up candidate, or my friend works there. And so when we look at our customers' data, like Box is a great example, look at their platform, their response time from candidates that are what we call Findem enabled in the system is so much higher than those pipelines of the source candidates or applicants.
I love that. That's such good insight. Natalie, what excites you about the future of recruiting, the future of events, marketing, conferences, this whole world?
I think what excites me going into this next year is from starting Talent Collective 2 years ago, it was pretty much immediately like, oh, there's this new thing, AI. And then, the community we're talking about, like, what is this AI thing? Oh my God, I'm scared. Okay, now I'm scared because it's going to replace my job. Like, oh my God. Now I have to think about what am I going to do if I can't be a recruiter anymore? All that fear that went on last year, we put in a lot of time and effort to have thought leader conversations now to shift narrative on how AI is really setting up recruiters to be more strategic advisors, to be able to not be stuck in the messy middle. And so what I'm excited to see now with a lot of these new tools is the recruiter enablement, because the technology is helping them evolve in their role. And I'm excited to see how that role of talent practitioners or even HR practitioners will shift. We still don't fully know what that's going to look like, but I'm excited to see where that goes. In terms of events, we have Talent Sphere coming up in February. So it's like Recruiter Retreat meets conference. So we hope people will come to that in February.
I gotta give you huge props. That event you threw in Scottsdale was insane. It felt like a friend trip. It felt like I was in the room at the resort with all my recruiting friends. Events like HR Tech, this is the Super Bowl, but these little micro events are so community and relationship focused that I feel like in Scottsdale I was able to talk to every single person that was there. And that was really special. That built like an affinity for your brand, but it strengthened the relationship of the practitioners. And to me, community ends with unity, but I'd argue it begins with it. And you're doing that at Talent Collective and Talent Summit.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's kind of our marquee event. It's a goal of mine in year one, and we pulled it off, and now we're going to do it bigger and better in Savannah, Georgia.
Amazing. What are the dates of the event, and how can people find out more information?
Yes, it's going to be February 9th and 10th, 2026, and the website is talentspheresummit.com.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I feel like I forgot it already, but just DM me. I have all the information, and we're going public next week, actually.
Amazing. I can't wait. I'm definitely booking my ticket right away. Is Findem going to have a presence there?
Yes, they're actually co-hosting the event. So it's a great opportunity for Findem to bring a lot of the talent insights work that we've been doing from some of our centers of excellence. So we'll have a whole insights track that's unique to Findem. And then outside of that, we do have some of our other amazing partners coming back this next year. So more public data come on there as well.
Amazing. Well, Natalie, we'll see you in Savannah.
You grilled me. It's not
I
funny.
grilled you? I was just like, here's a softball, here's a softball.
Can you edit out that one?
I don't know what you're talking about.